Okay, everyone, welcome to Mayfest 2023.
Wow,
Woo!
we're here.
We made it. We got a nice little speaker over there. Carson's enjoying it.
Yes.
She can hear us. So welcome, everyone. It's a beautiful day for Mayfest.
Gorgeous
right?
day. Gorgeous.
We're joined by, yes, check the temperature. We're joined by William, our operations manager. Tony, our digital media coordinator for the next month. So if you're interested in that kind of field, you could apply with William.
Yes.
And to kick it off, Mr. Harrington from the Chamber. How are you?
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. Say hello, but we also want to hear from the Chamber. You guys have had some cool things recently. Homebrew. I'll let you talk about that, and then things coming up. So, how was Homebrew this year?
Homebrew was fantastic. I guess we'll start there. So I think the big news is another successful, our 13th actual.
Lucky number 13.
Started a little gray, but ended up sunny and bright, so we're super happy about that. And we'll make a plug. No summer homebrew this year because it's too darn hot.
Well, and also, what do you have coming in store?
Yes. So we decided to pivot to our favorite season, especially here in Vermont. We are having a fall homebrew fest. So think bonfires and cider and apple cider donuts and all those great things.
I'm there.
So tickets are available now on Eventbrite and also vthomebrewfest.com, and the date is October 7th.
October 7th, first Saturday of October.
Absolutely.
And the long weekend, the Indigenous
and the
Columbus Day weekend.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So,
and see you same location as spring, so see you at the same spot.
Yep. And early bird tickets right now, so hop on and grab some tickets.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
Yes. Otherwise, Mike, I mean, one, we love to kick off the festival season with Mayfest, and we couldn't ask for a better weather. Not only, some of the things that are taken into consideration, and this is really the BBC's Better Bennington Corporation's gig. But we're often looking at weather, rain or snow or whatever happens to be. But also wind, and other than right exactly now, where we see the flag going, we haven't had a whole lot of wind. And if we remember last year, it wasn't the worst weather, but wind was an issue too. So we're always kind of paying attention to sun, snow, rain, but also wind, and oftentimes, when it's 90 or 100 degrees, you can sweat people out too.
Yes, you
so
can.
We've got this ideal Mayfest. It's a great way to start off festival season.
I should say, and a plug, being on the BBC board, it's the largest Mayfest ever vendor-wise.
Wow.
I think over 100
Awesome.
is what it was. So Jenny and the team have worked really hard to make this day successful, and they really paid the weather people perfectly. It's quite a day.
Well, they deserve some good weather.
So we were out on the street at 5 a.m. this morning, making sure that the roads were closed. Again, we have to fit in those over 100 vendors, and we're strategically placing them and that sort of thing. So, we started early this morning. Give a shout out to the volunteers. We always love to partner with the BBC. We think it's some of our role as the Chamber. But for the dozens of volunteers, they're just doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and they love it every year. They keep coming back. So shout out to them. And they're walking around today with their Mayfest shirts on. And then of course cleanup. And then you got to clean up the festival.
If you see them, thank them, because without them, this probably would definitely not happen. So, speaking of festival season, this is the beginning. Do we have an end this year?
Well, I would say, to Will's point, it is going to be the Homebrew Festival.
Yeah, but I think we're the bookend.
The big one that we haven't really announced yet, and it'll go maybe I'll say semi-public on Monday, but we're going to give you a sneak peek today.
Right now.
Will be Garlic Town 2023. We've got some interesting things in store, a little bit, similar to downtown. That's how we like to brand the Garlic Town portion of it. If we ever go back to a field, it'll probably be Garlic Fest again. Right now, it's Garlic Town. We know that Camelot was purchased. We've had good conversations with Michelle so far.
Good.
But we want to let her get her feet underneath her. She's got a lot to handle up there at Camelot. So we're gonna, and we've already booked all the vendors. So we're gonna have it back downtown. But we're gonna to move it more all on Depot Street. And we've got a couple surprises that we're going to roll out soon that are going to be pretty exciting. So pay attention. But yeah, we, as the chamber, huge fundraiser for us, but also just a magnet festival for the Northeast to come up and enjoy Garlic Town, USA on Labor Day weekend, September 2nd, Saturday, September 2nd.
September 2nd. I think Tony should position himself and paint the festival with Mount Anthony and the garlic.
That would be a good idea.
Could you get the fumes of the garlic coming up through the paint?
That would be innovative for me to be able to do that.
Scratch and sniff paint.
Exactly.
I think he paints with garlic. I think there's cloves that, how they do potato stenciling? I think there's garlic stenciling out there too.
2 innovations.
We got time.
Work that out.
Anything else you want to
Yeah,
mention?
well, we just got a whole, I'll give a plug for the whole region. When travelers come here, we have over 100,000 travelers come through the southwestern region. They don't just travel to Bennington. They're traveling through Pownell. They're going up to Arlington, Norman Rockwell. They're checking out Robert Frostgrave. They're going all the way up to Manchester and Rupert and that area. So we've got a couple great things coming through the Bluegrass Festival in Manchester, as we often know about. There's often, I think even on Thursday nights, the first Thursdays, right, we have our Hemmings Cruise in. One of the plugs I was going to say is, I've been in this role 7 years. I've known people that have been in it longer. Oftentimes we're trying to create these magnet festivals, right, to bring people in. And what's really exciting about Bennington right now is not only do we have those magnet festivals, we also have the weekly stop-in. I think there are more travelers coming through excited about Bennington, be that the distillery, the breweries that have come online, the restaurants that have come online, just the beautiful part of downtown and Putnam Block and everything that's happening. So we're seeing just these kind of the Hemmings cruise-ins pop up. So we're not just trying to do bookends with a Mayfest and a homebrew. We're seeing people you're seeing more lively action every single week on Main Street in Bennington, and that's what's exciting for us.
No, and that's thanks to the Chamber, it's thanks to the BBC, and anyone else that has these things that garner people to come from wherever it may be. So thank you for letting us kick off the show with you.
We're happy.
Exciting
Thanks,
news with Garlic Town USA, September 2nd, Homebrew Fest, October 7th. We'll be right back. Short break with the fine folks from the Bennington Free Library. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Thanks, Cap.
Thanks.
All right, and we're back. We're back. So Tony and I are joined by Carson and Linda from the Bennington Free Library.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hopped right in.
You're here. You were here
Yeah.
before Matt. You were on time, way before on time. So we appreciate that. So yeah, let's
Lots of
just
stuff
jump
going
right in.
on.
What's going on at the Bennington Free Library?
Right now, today, come on down if you're not here. The book sale is going on upstairs in the Rotary Room.
Excellent.
And there's still some books left, so you too can come down.
There's a lot of book
Help
sales on
support
Main
the
Street.
library. Buy a
That's
book.
great.
Yeah.
I like
That's
it.
today until 4.
I've already bought my books.
They're right over there.
Tony-
They're over there on the table. I should have brought them.
Well done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Every little bit counts.
Everything counts. Ongoing still. We started this in April. We have our survey. We do have paper
Jim's gonna
surveys,
zoom
I'll
in
tell
here.
you.
Nice.
But there's a nice QR code, and we really would appreciate feedback. We like all kinds of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell us if something isn't working, is working. You know,
You need to
what
hear the
should we
good
do
and the bad.
differently?
Yeah.
We like a good survey. Responses have been a little slow, so I'm
Yeah.
plugging it here.
All right. Glad to
Please
hear.
do. You could win
Excellent.
prizes. Yay!
So if you take 5 minutes of your time, you could
Less.
win
It's
a
like
prize.
6 questions.
6 questions.
There's a nice
Is it-
certificate to the country club up for.
Ooh, how about that?
Just
Okay.
saying.
I like it.
Just saying. And Linda's going to
Okay.
take a turn. Give us some
I
news.
am. And the newest news in the children's room is that Jonna Fredrickson has joined me as the other children's librarian, as a youth services librarian. So we're going to job share.
New face.
And she's a new face.
That's awesome.
I know. We're so excited.
That is very
She's
cool.
wonderful, and she brings some years of experience in children's services to the job, as well as, she's done a lot of other things. So, and she loves kids, and so we're so excited about that. We also, a week from today, have a chess tournament. And if you've been following some of the things that we do that are supported by the Children's Room, we've been sponsoring chess classes. They started in
Yes.
November, every
I've
other
seen the
Saturday.
pictures online. Lots of people are attending this. That's great.
Lots of kids from all over. Well, we thought, as a culmination for the school year chess, that we would hold a chess tournament. We already have 25 kids signed up.
Wow, that's great.
And it's going to, from all the area schools, even into Williamstown. So Hoosick Falls, that is
That's a
next
great
Saturday.
idea.
It's a nice
And go online and send me your info, and I'll sign you up too.
Excellent.
You
And
know,
obviously
children?
all range of chess abilities.
All range of chess abilities,
Cool. Great.
from kindergartners through 7th graders.
That's awesome.
So, yes, and some of those kindergartners are really good.
I bet. Way better than me.
We are Monday, June 5th. It will be our last bilingual story time in this series. And Lisette Marchignani has been teaching us Spanish. So we have 2-year-olds through 6-year-olds.
That's awesome.
And grown-ups learning Spanish.
Wow.
So that's our last in the series.
Wait,
Muy bueno. All right, there's mine.
And Carson's going to talk about summer reading.
Yes.
Summer stuff going on. So, we are, mostly the adults are kind of working out of Vermont Reads this year. Now, Vermont Reads, you've probably all heard, the year of Vermont Reads ends June 30th, 2023, and then the new book begins July. So, we are finishing the year, and we are participating in Vermont Reads, and the title is The Most Costly Journey.
Here's Jim's
There's
pen
the little
like it.
cannon, so you
Nice.
can all. These books are available free. I can talk.
Yes.
Free.
Through the Vermont Humanities, and we will have copies. We have copies now, but come in Tuesday. It's a little busy with the book sale, so come in starting Tuesday. This is a collection of stories of migrant farm workers in Vermont, drawn by New England cartoonists. So it's a really. I won't. Okay, I will.
Yeah. Oh,
I
very
will
good.
go
Wow.
there.
There's pictures.
It's so much
That's
more
great.
interesting than looking at me while I'm talking. So Vermont Reads is like a one book, community. Everybody, the book, and you get
And
a
the
free
bookmark.
bookmark. And you get a free
Alright.
bookmark. So we have copies. This is the English language version. I also do want to say that we got some Spanish language copies, which is really great. Also, we have a few of
Excellent.
these. And so we do a few activities around this. We're doing a comic journaling workshop for adults and older teens. That's Saturday, June 17th at 2:30. Please email to register. Info coming out very soon. We're doing a community book discussion upstairs at the library Thursday, June 22nd at 7. And then one of our collaborating partners is the Unitarian Universalist here in Bennington, the group, and they have a justice reading group. They'll be discussing the book Tuesday, June 27th at 7.
All right.
So lots of
Right
things
before
going on.
the new book comes out.
Right before, all the new stuff starts in July. I will be honest, we'll be doing a couple other programs in July and August because the summer reading theme is all together now.
Okay.
And you just can't,
It's
all
perfect.
together now. We're all together now. And I was like, this thing just it just puts itself together. I don't need to force it. It just works.
That's
so
great. That's awesome.
that's the kind of the big adult thing. We'll have some related contests and giveaways, of course. But
Awesome.
Cool.
But as far as summer reading goes, and all together now, it includes babies, toddlers, school-age kids, up through tweens, and hopefully some teens. And we will start on June 26th to sign kids up for summer reading. And they get a reading record and a bookmark. And they'll all get certificates and a prize at the end.
Terrific.
it's all about
but,
prizes.
Yeah.
It's true.
But all during that last week in June, all the weeks in July, and a couple of weeks in August, we'll be having programming for real little guys. We'll be having programming for school-age kids and for tweens. So we do have lots going on. Cooking and yoga and lots of things to do in the room, story time, and we're going to even have a chess camp. So we
great.
hope that we see you sometime this summer.
Yeah,
and
that's a lot going
you know, the children's room is just a great place to hang out in the summer. If you don't have anything to do, just come down and cool off because we're air conditioned.
Exactly.
And that's when I see lots of families spending time together, just being together and sharing conversation and looking at books, and there's no pressure.
That's great.
Just be
Yes.
all together now
Just be
at the library.
all together
Yes,
at the
that's
library.
it.
Those are
Can I
great.
remind you know what I forgot? This is always the wrinkle of summer. So library hours do reduce. Saturdays only. We go down to 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sorry, just reminding
That's a
everyone.
good
No
plug.
one
That's a-
likes that, but I do want to remind people because what's already happening is we're noticing. Well, we're open today, but it's been quieting down on the Saturday afternoons in the building because the weather's nice. No one wants to come inside. I mean,
That's right.
or they zip in. They're like,
Yeah.
Don't even just
Yeah. Get a book, get out.
get out.
Get
yeah.
in, get out. Get that
out,
book and
go
get out of
outside
there.
and read.
Yeah.
So I should.
Right. Except for next Saturday.
Except for next Saturday when you should come to
Yes.
the chess tournament.
The chess tournament.
Right,
Yes,
which
that'll be a lot
is
of
we'll let you in through the magic door, and you can come into the library after hours.
Right.
So,
We do plan
so
for
do you
these things.
expect an audience? Can people just come watch
Can people
these?
come and watch?
No,
Because I mean, my ability, if I was going to sign up, I'd have to be in the kindergarten level because
Well, it's,
I'd probably
so
still
it is
lose.
a youth chess tournament. What are you cutting off registration at? 7th grade? 8th grade?
seventh grade,
Seventh grade.
really.
Sorry, Tony.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Believe me, I'd be humiliated pretty quickly. So
When
As
in
would
the,
I, Tony.
In the fall, when we start up our chess classes again,
maybe.
you can come and watch. It's more casual.
Yeah.
We are working with a real chess coach, and Trevor Plizga. And Trevor is a recent Benningtonian, recently moved to town, and he explained everything that goes into the chess tournament to me this morning,
Wow.
just so I'd be
prepared.
on the bright page.
Wow.
And parents are not allowed really in the room.
Interesting.
They can be right outside the
Right,
door.
right,
But whereas during the school year, parents come in,
Yep.
and sometimes parents play each other
Gotcha.
or play kids. So it's much more casual. This is for prizes.
I say the tournament is, it raises the stakes. So, but,
Winding down.
We're winding down. We've got the cue. Any final words for the library? Anything you want to add for the summer
Marcy?
events?
Read on.
Read.
Come to the library. All
Great.
together now.
Come
Stay
and
tuned.
Come and say hi.
And if we went over a myriad of information, can they
Website,
find us online? What is that?
BenningtonFreeLibrary.org or our Facebook page.
Right.
It's my voice on the phone message. That's why I fell right into that. BenningtonFreeLibrary.org or our Facebook page, 802-442-9051, down the street.
Or just come in the door.
I'll turn the
just come in
stars
the
on
door.
for you.
Corner of Main and Silver. Great. Well, thank you, Carson.
guys.
Thank you, Linda, for coming
Thank
down.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Enjoy the
both.
rest of
coming.
Mayfest.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. We'll be right back with a puppy.
Oh, really? I love that.
All right, and we're back. We're back. Mayfest 2023. We have Josh, Jim, and Tammy's our special guest today, but we also have Hollis on the ground there, and we'll see if we can get a camera shot of her. She is. So, Tammy, why are you here with this lovely puppy?
So this is my first time, but I am called a puppy raiser. I am raising this puppy to be a guide in New York. They year to date, it's about 15 puppies with families or individuals, but they're short, even year to date. Hollis,
we have another dog. Another puppy.
we have some. We're 4 months. We're learning. They have about an 18-month waiting list if you're visually impaired. So it's really critical that these dogs get socialization, like today, lots of experiences, and house manners. And she'll be with us for about a year and a half, and then she'll be tested. And if they feel that she, checks all the boxes, she'll go into professional training to be a guide dog.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you've been in our studio for a couple episodes, and we've seen her grow. How's experiences going for you?
It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned before the support of the organization. A few days, my brother said, "Let's go to the Red Sox game," and I said, "Well, I can't. I have a puppy," but I did because there was somebody locally that it's an experience for them to be in a different house. Not that it doesn't have its challenges, but I was just assessed. They call it Mayfest.
Very good.
So that means that she is on track, doing the things she should be doing.
Great.
And it was really helpful for me because they videotaped me with the dog walking and doing different things, and then I got a whole written report back.
That's cool.
These are the things you should work on. She's obviously highly distractible at this point.
Some of us are still highly distractible.
Yeah, and a lot of barking at other dogs. That's her new.
So, could you talk a little bit about puppy sitters? Because puppy raisers, a lot of people think, "Ooh, I don't know if I can bite that up," but maybe you could dip your toes in the water as a puppy sitter.
Yeah, they are crucial for us as sitters, as raisers. You do about 3 Zoom classes. What they want you, safety in the home and things like that. And then at your convenience, if you have, 3 days, dogs every quarter spend 4 nights with someone else.
Okay. Oh, interesting. That's cool.
So we really need assured me that if we needed to, go to the hospital or whatever, that they have sitters.
Right.
So I find, the best way is to go to Guiding Eyes, and then we have Kate Garden, everything like that, and they have their own vets, and it's just been really great.
That's great. So awesome. GuidingEyes.org.
GuidingEyesForTheBlind.org.
GuidingEyesForTheBlind.org. All right, great.
Awesome.
And you can see
you can
see the videos from.
Thank you. Yeah, and hopefully she'll be the best, and every month should be better behavior.
Yes. Oh, wow. Have you back in June sometime in the studio, and thank you for. We won't belabor anymore. Hollis wants to get moving.
How do I get my vest?
Yeah.
We could talk about that later.
Still got some training to do.
Yeah, you got some training to do. It's distractions, Jim.
Yeah.
What?
So,
thanks, guys.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
So much,
and we'll be right back with the rescue squad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're back. And hopefully you're having a great day out there with Tony, with Josh, our special guest, Bill Camarda from the Rescue Squad.
Wow.
You had a great day yesterday. Let's start there.
It was a very good day. We had a celebration for our 60th anniversary in EMS Week, and we were able to have state, local, federal officials all come by and celebrate some of the great things that our crew's done over the last year.
I should say.
Awesome.
And it's EMS Week.
It is.
All week. You guys have done a great push on the social media. We're seeing I saw the posts. It's great. So talk about that.
Yeah, so EMS Week, it's a national week. This is the 50th year of EMS Week. It's usually the third full week in May, and it is dedicated to EMS professionals around the nation and focusing on some of the issues that EMS faces and some of the great things that they do every day out in the community.
That's great. Yeah, and as I was fortunate enough to be there filming for you guys yesterday, you'll see that later on Cat TV next week. And it was very nice, and some stories were shared that were very moving, and clearly, yes, you guys are there in, as you said, in people's worst day of their lives.
Yeah.
You go to work and go through it. I'm not doing the justice right here, but I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, so it's a thing that a lot of people don't think about until you start to actually think about it, is that if we're there for somebody, it's not usually because they're having a wonderful day.
Yes.
It's usually one of the worst days of their lives when we're there. And that wears emotionally. We don't have any special soul callus that protects us from seeing that on a continuous basis. So it's important whenever we can to celebrate the work that everybody does in this field, to make sure that they are appreciated, and everybody knows the kind of sacrifices, even just on an emotional level, that they make every day.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. As they said, yes, missed dinners, missed parties, missed important milestones because a call came in.
Yeah. 24/7, 365. We don't get any holidays or weekends or nights off. You're either on duty or you're not. We try and minimize the amount of time people are on duty, and our base schedule is only either 3 or 4 days a week, just intentionally to make sure that people have time not to be at work.
Makes sense. That's good.
That would be
You were going to say something. Did you have something?
well,
Yes.
what occurred to me was, so your 60th anniversary, that would put 1963 when this was started. What happened before that? Who did someone call
That's a good question.
That's a great question. So there were a few agencies in surrounding communities that predated Bennington Rescue, like Pownell Rescue,
Right.
Town of Hoosick Rescue. It started a few years earlier, but before that it was mainly funeral homes. So funeral homes would do double duty because they have a...
Don't really want to be calling the funeral home.
That's why the old ambulances were Cadillacs, and they looked just like a hearse, except they were white instead of black.
Well, that's one
because
thing.
they already have the equipment to move somebody who's laying down
Right.
in the back of a hearse.
Right.
So they would respond to calls
Oh,
sometimes.
interesting. Very interesting.
You might have learned something new there at home.
I did.
Yeah, good question, Tony. Josh,
I don't got no questions.
you know what? Okay.
He had the same question I did.
Yeah, he stole mine.
So you're sporting some great 60-year wear on your
Yes,
shirt. I got a
yes.
nice pin here that I got yesterday. Very nice. Anything more you're doing to celebrate 60 years? You said that yesterday. You're kicking it off.
We're kicking it off, so we're still in the planning stages, but we'd like to have we have some community support from Mary Morrissey and some others in the community that would like to put together a special 60th anniversary event that's just to celebrate the 60th and make it also a fundraiser at the same time, because that's probably our biggest challenge besides people, is making sure that we have enough money to pay people decently. Our EMTs start right now at $18.02 an hour.
Wow.
So you can make that. You can make more than that working at Walmart. So we do offer night differentials and weekend differentials and stuff, but it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
They really should be making more than that. And every day we're trying to fundraise, get grants, donations from the community. We usually can rely on about $30,000 to $40,000 worth of donations from the community on an annual basis, but our budget is almost $3 million. So That's still it's very helpful, but it's a tiny drop in the bucket compared to how much we need to operate the service, because unfortunately the prices of things like medical supplies and fuel, they don't go down. They just keep going up.
Right. That was the thing too, like the insurance reimbursement doesn't cover your services now as it used to, right? Is that what you were saying yesterday?
So the issue has been that the compensation from insurance companies doesn't raise at the same rate as inflation. The things that we have bought over the last 2 years, price has gone up about 10 to 12%. Medicare, for example, has only raised the rates about 7 to 8%, depending on what state they're from, and the same for Medicaid. And Medicaid pays even less than Medicare. So the difference keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's not going down any between what it costs and what we get compensated for that care.
That's definitely challenging.
It is. It is.
I wish we could figure it out here at this table, right? Tony, you got another good idea? No.
I'm afraid I'm out of good ideas now.
So I did want to ask.
Yes, merch is available on our website. If anybody goes to BenningtonRescue.org, you can find a link there to it's on our donate page. You can either donate money directly, or you can buy merchandise, and a portion of any of the merchandise comes back to Bennington Rescue.
Perfect.
And we're a community nonprofit. A lot of people think we're either government or volunteer still, and we're neither.
Yep.
So we're a 501c3 charity. And we do get a little bit of money from our municipalities, which we really appreciate. But still, it's every little dollar helps.
Yeah, sure. And I think I definitely forgot to mention this. What's your role at the rescue squad?
I'm now the executive director.
Yes.
I became the interim when our previous executive director retired. And then last month they made it official.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
So it's a new role, it's a new challenge, and things like public speaking I've never been too happy about, but I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it.
Well, well deserved in your role. You've been there for a long time. You really know the ins and outs. So you're here today with your great trailer.
Yes.
And what are you doing today here at Mayfest?
So today at Mayfest, we of course are providing medical support. We've got our bike team out. Timmy and Connor are riding around. If anybody sees guys on bikes and you're like, why is the rescue squad on bikes? They can respond really quickly in an environment like this where it's packed full of people, but we've got enough room on the sides to be able to bike through faster than I can run for sure. And running with gear is, I'm going to be more tired when I get there and not really able to assist very well, where the bike is kind of an equalizer in this environment, and then we can bring the ambulance to whichever point is closest to wherever, if there was a medical emergency to occur here today. Sure. We also have a kids coloring station and activity station, so we're having a poster contest through the end of the month for kids to enter, and any the chosen posters by our crew. Those kids will get the chance to pick up some of our 60th anniversary merch, so we've got it for the whole age span, from baby all the way to adult.
Baby, all right.
We've got onesies out there too.
There we go.
Mugs and totes as well, and they all have our 60th anniversary logo.
That's awesome.
And giveaways for kids and adults. We also have, on a more serious note, opiate response kits along with bleeding control supplies, all packed into one little compact bag that you can either keep at home or in your car in case you know somebody who's at risk, or you just come across one of those emergencies. When people's hearts stop, when they have severe bleeding, or they stop breathing due to something like an overdose, those are three conditions where somebody can have brain death or actual death prior to us arriving, because it only takes 4 to 6 minutes for somebody to die from severe bleeding, or if their heart stops, for brain damage to occur. The brain can only go about 4 minutes without breathing and having oxygen before brain cells have significant death. So it's important for other people to be able to do something about it. The easiest thing to do is call 911, because even if you're nervous or you forget after we give you 2 seconds worth of training, they will give you instructions over the phone. You just want to be sure to call 911, not like the 7-digit local number. 911 gets you to the Vermont State Police dispatchers, who are emergency medical dispatchers. We have great dispatchers here at Bennington PD, but they're not the emergency medical dispatchers. They coordinate the police department, the fire department, and ambulance services responding. Vermont State Police is your emergency medical dispatcher, who will ask you the questions, interrogate, and give you instructions right over the phone.
That's an important difference.
Yeah,
sometimes if you want a quick response, it's local number. But if you need a medical intervention while you wait, you want to dial 911. That is a good.
They can hook up pretty quickly with Bennington Police, and they loop them in on both the CAD and the call, so they can hear it as well, and get us moving if it's a medical emergency, for example.
So you said those kits are available?
Yes, until we run out of them.
Gotcha.
We have about 30 of them, and I think we're already about halfway gone.
Wow, that's good.
But after that, we still have bleeding control supplies that we'll be giving out, because that is an emergency you're likely to see anywhere. You can do it at home. You're just slicing vegetables, not paying attention.
I've done it.
You nick an artery and blood's going everywhere. Yes, it's a vital thing to know to help somebody else or yourself.
That's great. That's great that you're able to offer that.
Yeah.
My last little question I was going to ask is, in addition to that, anyone can call and you can ask for like CPR classes or AED.
Yep, at a minimum we have one CPR class every month. We even have some pet first aid courses now, so you can learn pet first aid and CPR. We even have a dog mannequin if you want to try out some CPR on a dog. We don't have that here today, but we do have training continuously. Our newest set of apprentices starts in a few weeks, and then we'll start hiring later in the summer if anybody is looking for an opportunity to get into the field. We also have a first responder course coming up in a few weeks. It only takes a day.
Oh, that's great.
If somebody's interested in just experiencing what it's like in the ambulance.
That sounds like a cool segment we could do.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be in touch about that. A little ride-along interest. That'd be neat. I think Josh is very interested.
That would be
Awesome.
There, boom.
We're all about it.
Great. Well, you've done great public speaking. We've survived. We'll let you go back to the booth. But thank you for spending a few minutes with us.
Thank you.
Spreading the good information and the important information that you guys do at Bennington Rescue. And congratulations on 60 years. Big year.
Yes, congratulations.
We'll get there in 30 years.
Exactly.
We're halfway there. But thank you, Bill.
Yeah, it's you guys do a vital service as well,
Thank you.
and we appreciate. We're now a nonprofit member. A lot of
Yes.
people don't know that.
Yes.
Now that I know that, we're a member as well.
Yes,
So
any
awesome.
nonprofit out there can be a member of CAD TV. It's $100 a year. It's a steal. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the CPARB people and the chief of police. All right. Toodles. All right, and we're back. We're back. We were going to have a special guest, but he's been detained.
Special guest?
Yeah, but we have two other important special guests with us. We have members of the CPAR board, which I'm going to ask you to spell that out. We have Will and we have Kelly. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And CPAR, let's just jump in. What does this stand for? Because I always mess it up, so.
So my name is Kelly Carroll, and I'm actually the chair of CPAR, which is the Community Policing Advisory Review Board. And this is Will Greer, and Will is the vice chair of the board. So I'm going to
Yeah,
Excellent.
so talking about how CPARB got started, so as Kelly said, we're a review board, and that started when the IACP report came out with the town, and they put a lot of work based on the recommendations that the IACP report put out to establish a review board. And so we got to work on that, and it's a year since we knew we were going to be a board, and I think we've been doing a great job since then. Yeah.
Yes, we're glad that we're able to be there to cover it and document it for people to watch later,
and we appreciate
yeah,
that, both
and
Jim
serve
and
as a
Josh.
record. Yes. So it's a very important board. You guys have a pretty big thing coming up next month with the board.
Yep, we do. And I just want to take a moment before we start talking about the listening session just to remind everybody of why we're here this weekend. Yes, this is Mayfest, but we'd also like to thank all of our military men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice and their families. And we thank all of our military currently serving, active, guards, and everyone for everything you've done for us, as well as all of the, I'd like to thank the law enforcement, all of our firemen and women, and all of our first responders and EMTs for everything they do to keep the community safe and what you do. So thank you. And yes, we do have a listening session coming up. This is going to be our first community event, and one of the goals that the select board had for us was to foster collaborative efforts between BPD and the community. So they have charged us with having a listening session, and it will be June 29th, Thursday, from 6 to 8 p.m. And Will, do you want to talk about the rest of the specifics?
So we thought about how to increase participation at the listening session, and so we're going to have childcare. So for people that have children that want to be able to come, we'll be able to. And then we'll also have pizza and things for people to eat and enjoy, because it's right at dinner time. So we wanted to make sure we had enough,
And most important, where will it be?
It will be at the Bennington Firehouse at 130 River Street in the multi-purpose room.
So you guys hold your meetings and
where we
the
hold our
select board
regular meetings.
Okay, good. And so if people are out there listening, they're going to want to come to this listening session. How can they participate? You're looking for feedback from the community?
Right. I'll just speak on the kind of the goal that we're trying to get out of it. And Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we're trying to figure out going forward for the September survey, kind of what we can get out and further, what we hear from people, further investigate and review what they want. So that's kind of the long-term goal. But the short-term, like we said, is to foster the collaborative efforts between the community and the board and the police department.
And I think doesn't it also then show some transparency with between what the board is doing and with the community? The community actually is being invited to be part of it.
We want to know what community policing means to the residents of Bennington. We want to know what your ideas are. We want you to share your experiences. We want you to provide input on what you think. There's a lot going on right now, and we want to hear what your thoughts are so we know what direction to go forward on and what to concentrate on within the scope of what the select board has charged us with. But we need to listen and we need to hear from you.
I couldn't have said it any better. And for people who want to attend maybe your regular meetings, when do you regularly meet? You meet once a month, right?
We meet on the third Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. in the Firehouse, third floor, multi-purpose room at 130 River Street. And we're very, very fortunate that Cat TV covers our meetings. They're also going to be covering the listening session, so thank you very much for that.
Welcome. Yeah.
And we also have a comment page on the town's website. So if you go to the townofbenningtonvermont.org and look under government, you'll see boards and commissions, and then you'll see the Community Policing Advisory Review Board, CPARB, and at the bottom of our page, there is a comment section. So if you have something that you want to say to us, you want to get something, a message across, and you can't make the listening session or you can't make our meetings, that's one way that you can communicate and get your voice out.
Great, that's awesome. Yeah, want to make sure everyone has a chance to be heard. Any final thoughts for you guys?
Anything you want me to say?
No, just we do encourage participation. Let us know what you think and if we're on the right path. We do have our next meeting is June 15th at 6 p.m. at the Firehouse. Then we have our listening session on June 29th. So please come down and join us and let us know, or give us some feedback on our webpage, or if you see one of us out and about. There's 6 of us on the board right now. So if you see us, please stop us.
Just about everywhere. Everywhere there's a meeting, I see one of you too. Yeah.
I always like to say, what's next?
Yeah.
You know, so we've got this listening session, and one thing that we do want to do is take that information. We want to work towards survey questions for the town survey, but we're also looking at possibly doing a collaborative community policing forum in the fall. So we're hoping to get some input on that and some direction, and that's, like I said, this is our first event, and then our next events, hopefully we'll be able to get out into some of the community rooms around and interaction. But if you see one of us out and about, please stop us and give us your thoughts. You know?
Yeah. I do know. I want to thank you for your guys' service. It's a tough task. There's a lot of work behind the scenes involved in it. I know a lot of reading, a lot of research. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Yep. No. Well said, Jim. And so double whammy next month for you guys. June 15th regular meeting, and getting the word out about the listening session June 29th. It's a Thursday. Mark your calendar. 6 p.m. You'll be right there.
We'll be live.
We'll be live from the Firehouse.
And we'll have pizza for you.
And pizza.
Well, I'm there.
And free childcare.
Jim said,
Not for you, but
you can bring.
Sometimes I got my Fisher Price computer right over there.
You can bring your cat. No, I'm
bring my
kidding.
cat. My cat's me.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you. And we're happy to let you be here and spread the word about these important things you guys are doing. So,
thank you for helping us get the word out. We appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. No problem. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and Mayfest. And we'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Get some cotton candy.
All right, we are back. Larry King here.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. So we're back. This is a fun one here too. So Will, good to see you.
Thank you. I'm back.
We have great guests here of Kaya and Kevin from the Bennington Performing Arts Center.
Exciting.
And I'm just going to kick right in. We've had a little shake-up at BPAC, let's call it that for what it is. Kevin is the new executive director, so welcome.
Thank you.
And for people out there who don't know, where did Kevin come from?
Mike, nice to see you again. Thank you. My background has been in pro sports teams and then performing arts centers and kind of large ones around the country. But I grew up in the Berkshires, and I'm back here, and the opportunity came to come right in my backyard and try to repair a beautiful theater here.
That's great. That's great. And you've been here since?
Just about 2.5 months now.
Great. Yeah.
Wow.
You've hit the ground running. And Kaya.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
People see you around town. You're very involved. And at the bookshop, I have to say it.
Yes.
When did you join BPAC?
Oh, gosh. Last summer, I worked on the last Old Castle season.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But I joined in my role officially now probably 3 months ago, right around the time.
And you are, what is your role?
That's a great question. My title is production manager, but I wear many different hats.
Mine too. That's great. All right. So yeah, we wanted to have you guys on. So thank you. We wanted to hear what's in store for BPAC. A lot of things happening. People might be sad to hear things. Some things are not happening this summer. But yeah, I'll let you dive right in.
Yeah, Mike, I came on board and. Old Castle has a great history. It was a theater troupe since the early 70s, located in a number of locations around town. Then when they found this beautiful theater and turned it into a theater on Main Street, it became the home for Old Castle Theater as well as the Bennington Community Theater Group. And so it was absolutely wonderful. At the end of last year, there were some staff changes and people just left the organization and left for some new opportunities to come about. And my background is a little bit different than being solely an actor like yourself and professional in that aspect. And so mine more business. And so I look at the opportunity of the theater to host a variety of events. This beautiful day here shows you that what a great event will bring to downtown. And if we can bring in about 120 events each year, variety of plays, musicals, children's shows, comedy shows, acoustic bands, a variety of elements. It'll bring in all of Bennington, and that's what the goal is. And I'm going to answer your other question when you said who Kaya is. Kaya is the most important person in the building. I can come up with some crazy ideas from the past, but Kaya has to make them all happen. Exactly. So she's the one that's the number one in the organization.
The multi-tool of everything.
Yes.
Can do everything. That's great. Yes.
Well, that's exciting to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of new to it, but I always thought that venue in particular suited itself well for lots of events. So not just a season of events or 2 seasons. It's just continually, and like you said, bringing in music and all these different diverse acts. I'm super excited about it. It's something we don't have here in Bennington. And I think it's going to be great. And obviously, your friends here at CAT will help, promote it and probably cover a lot of those things. But yeah, where can folks go? Can they go someplace to see what's coming up? Do you have a schedule, a calendar, something like that?
Well, that's a great question. And right now, we're in a real deep planning session.
Gotcha.
And so we're prepared to make some announcements of our rebrand, our relaunch, coming in just a few weeks.
Awesome.
And so and you already got a sneak peek of the variety because I haven't even shared that with
look
many
at that.
people.
Hey,
all right.
Cutting edge.
Yeah, because it is, it has been a playhouse for the most part, but we have some great ideas and it's going to be
awesome.
It's going to light up this, just like this event here. We're going to have crowds every night.
Do you have a launch? And again, I'm probably asking you questions that you haven't quite figured out yet, but you have something launching? Is it going to be a web launch? Is it going to be a... What are you thinking for the official launch for the information?
There's a number of things, and I will be glad to share. You guys are the scoop, getting all the scoop information.
Scoop.
But we are planning a kind of a rebrand.
Yep.
So what's this building? What's its purpose? What's it going to be? So when that comes out, then we're going to explain it.
Okay.
And when we explain it, then we'll also have some tentative schedules as far as when the new season for the organization starts.
Exciting.
And,
Very exciting.
But like I said, the key person is Kaya here. She really is, all I do is come and say, what if we do this? And she says, that's a good idea. And it's like, great, take it.
Thank goodness.
A lot of times we say, no, that's not a good idea.
That's true. The circus she didn't like. Elephants wouldn't fit in the building.
You throw a bunch of things, you see what sticks. So.
And honesty is important,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So, but like you said, people can still look forward to some professional theater coming in.
Yes.
The community theater is very excited to have shows there. And you just finished up a really great, maybe season's not the right word, of trivia nights. That's very popular for people.
We did a lot of, those are kind of undercover events too, Mike.
Yeah.
We tested a number of events to see what would work in the community. And, we found that was very successful. And Kaya has the ideas how to escalate that even more if you want to talk about some things like that.
Just to make it bigger, to have more people hear about it, to maybe to bring up some of the technology. It's a great space for trivia. I think people are used to being at Ramontos, and those are great, but it's very bar-like. So just to make it more
Hard to
theatrical.
hear. No, I'm saying in Ramontos.
Oh, in Ramontos. I thought you meant me right now.
Yes,
No, yes, exactly. So it's just elevating it to make it more theatrical, more of an event. Yes, we're excited about things like trivia.
I was asked to come in for trivia. I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun to participate and read some clues. And it is a great space.
Yeah.
You've got the bar out front, so you can come and partake and enjoy.
Yep.
Great table space that people in the theater can just come and watch, really. And Corey does a great job with the board and the audio, and like you said, all the technical stuff you can bring in. It really expands trivia. Other than Ramontos, you're left to someone saying something.
Right.
Now you can have visual clues. It really helps. So
Right. And you were a star. I mean, the question that Mike was talking about is he was reading Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise clues from movies, and he did a great impression of them all. So.
Can we see some of that?
No.
I
don't think so.
Well, you got to get him to do that.
Yeah.
Let him do his Tom Cruise.
Before the show ends,
Before the show
we're gonna have to
ends.
see.
Oh yes.
Just get ready, gear it up.
Where's the couch? But it's great to hear what exciting things happening at BPAC. I know some people probably were looking forward to an Old Castle season this summer, but you got to take a step back and look at things.
The key is that when I came on board, the planning for a season takes place in the fall of the previous year, and that hadn't been done.
Yep.
And so when we came on board, Kai and I spoke about it, and we could have put together maybe a mini season, but it wouldn't have had the same impact, and we want to deliver the same quality of theater. And same thing, Mike, with the community theater. It's an important aspect. It's a big part of our program. It's not going away. It's a big part, but we're just adding more.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've known people will tell you for years, professional theater, it's really hard to make money. The sets are so expensive. You got to pay the actors equity. It's just a big thing. So,
And the part of the key, Will, is that you said it's a great space for a lot of different functions. We have like 150 seats, so we'd have to have an equity play there for about 4 years before we made money.
Exactly.
So that's until we bring in cats.
Ooh, cats. But great. Any last thoughts for BPAC? Kaya?
I think we're all set. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and if people,
No, a lot of good things happening. We're going to need a lot of help too, Mike. What the community wants to see. We've got limitless possibilities, and so we're going to when we have our big reveal, it's a lot of asking the public, and we'll be talking with you guys.
It's very important to get buy-in from the community, obviously.
Yes.
So if people want these sort of things, then they need to support them however they can, volunteering, monetarily, whatever it is. Support Cat TV, support local theater. I mean, that's what it's about here in town. And I, for one, can't wait for this reveal. So,
I'm excited.
A couple weeks out. And, quickly, I think what might be kind of cool is, so we're sitting here on the street. Mike, you've already talked about this. If you did, I apologize. But we are trying out our new Rode Podcaster machine. So that's what we're sitting around. So Cat TV was able to purchase this piece of equipment basically for the community. So we're going to teach folks like you how to use this.
Oh, that's great.
And you're going to be able to come to Cat TV and see the Tom Cruise impression that Mike's going to have queued up. You can take this equipment with you. You can bring it to BPAC and you could record your own podcast. Or you could come to Cat TV and we'll set it up for you and you can do it that way as well. So having just kind of those regular things to let people know what's happening, I think, is huge because there's so many things happening in this town. It's like, what's happening tonight? What am I going to choose? So so we encourage folks like yourselves and other people who may be watching to come down. Mike's a great teacher. He could teach you how to use this in probably a half hour.
That's great.
So take advantage of it. That's what we're here for.
Fabulous. And Mike will be here in our next theater or our next trivia as Marlon Brando from The Godfather. So
I'm coming to that one. I am coming to that one.
Work on it. My last thing was just how can people get in touch if they want to donate or if they want to become involved or if they want to submit an idea that they'd love to see come to BPAC. If they had like I'd love to see, I don't know.
Cats.
Game night.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Not trivia. Game night. I don't know. I'm just an idea. So, website. That's our word.
right now it's BPAC for Bennington Performing Arts Center. BPACVTvermont.org.
Okay.
And you go to that website. There's places to send letters and notes to Kaya and myself for suggestions.
Awesome.
And we'd appreciate it.
And
We'd welcome
donations
all.
too. So great. Yes. Like you said, it can't happen without money. The thing, money.
Yeah, and support.
And support, yes. Support. Oh, well, thank you for coming down.
thanks, guys.
Great. Appreciate you taking a few moments to talk about it. So it's important. It is a vibrant part of being downtown now, a theater right here. So we're very lucky to have it. So and for you too and all your work. So
Godfather, thank you.
you're welcome. I don't know. That was bad. All right. We'll be right back. All right. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. Josh, good to see you.
Hello. Good afternoon.
We've traded our theater performing arts people for a different kind of arts. Martin, how are you?
That's right. I am the director of the Bennington Museum.
I was just going to say that. You need to say
thank you for the invitation, for coming out. What a beautiful day in Bennington.
Yes.
Beautiful day.
It is picture perfect. It could be a picture in the museum. It's so
it
good.
could. That's right. It could.
So yeah, you're Martin from the museum, the new director. How would you say your last name?
Mahoney.
Mahoney. There we go. And where did we get you from for the museum? Where did you come?
I came from, most recently, the Norman Rockwell Museum.
Okay, nice.
Where I spent a good chunk of my career rising through the ranks, mostly dealing with exhibitions, operations, and touring Norman's artwork all over the country and all over the world.
Wow, that's awesome. I know that because I think Greg Van Houten said that. He's like, I've known Martin before by doing work at the Norman Rockwell. Like, cool.
That's right. It's a small world.
Well, we're really happy to have you. You've really come in and shaken things up at the museum, and you've got some exciting things. So I'm going to stop talking. Thank goodness. And let's hear from all the great things at the museum.
Well, thank you. First of all, thanks for the invite. The Bennington Museum is packed full of programming and opportunities to come see wonderful world-class art this summer. But before that, just one really quick preamble. The Bennington Museum is a museum of art, history, and innovation, and the museum collects, interprets, and celebrates the creativity of our region and all of Vermont across time. And we believe that by connecting people with the real objects of art, history, and challenging them with complex ideas, we will excite imagination, inspire innovation, and hopefully bring delight. And that's straight from our vision statement on our museum. And of course, the Bennington Museum has a core collection of the largest public collection of Grandma Moses in the world. We're very happy about that. We also feature the only mass-produced automobile from Vermont, the 1924 Martin Wasp. We have the Jane Stickle quilt, which comes out for 6 weeks a year and drives attendance. I couldn't believe the amount of excitement that the quilters bring to the museum. We have a folk art collection, Bennington stoneware, and a regional history room that serves as a resource for local researchers that come to the area. We also have two other side programs. We have the Bennington Historical Society, and we also have the George Aiken Wildlife Trail, and that is, both programs are driven by volunteers. Upcoming exhibitions include For the Love of Vermont, which is a partnership with the Southern Vermont Arts Center, so one great exhibition, two great venues. That is featuring the core of the Lyman Norton collection. Lyman Norton, of course, the purveyor of the Vermont Country Store. And he has leveraged his considerable art collection to help generate enthusiasm for all things Vermont. So the two institutions are presenting over 200 pieces of art by 75 artists that are inspired by coming to Vermont, that came to Vermont to pursue their artistic vision, and we're very excited to show it.
That's great. That's a lot of art.
It is a lot of art, and it includes artists like Rockwell Kent, John Clymer. Oh, let's see. Look at my list. Mead Schaefer, Marion Hughes, Lou Gioni, and of course Milton Avery. So we're very excited to feature that.
So you've probably worked out with them like a shared ticket, maybe. Like if they want to come to the museum, can they buy one ticket and then it's good to go up to the art center and see that, or is that?
Yep, there is a discount for coming to each institution, and it just seems to be the simplest way to do things.
That's great.
And the team at the Southern Vermont Arts Center up in Manchester has been fantastic. So shout out to the Northshire.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out.
And that will be on view July 1st through November 5th.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
And if you're interested, come to the opening reception on July 15th from 4 to 6, and you'll get to meet the collector as well.
We'll be there. Alex has asked for our presence at that lovely event.
Awesome. That's great. And since we're talking about other employees of the museum, I thought I'd break out a quote by Jamie Franklin on the Lyman Norton collection. Jamie Franklin, the long-serving curator at the Bennington Museum, most known for his hats and his
Jim's hat too.
His Saab that occasionally stops on its own volition.
It's a classic.
So Lyman Norton's collection is the largest collection of historic Vermont art in private hands, because Vermont is rural and because it is a place that is culture rich but money poor, there haven't been a lot of independent efforts to focus on the artists who lived in Vermont and who depicted this place and the people who lived here. Orton's collection is the collection of Vermont art in the 20th century. So high praise from Mr. Franklin.
Awesome.
That's really awesome.
Want me to keep going?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
please.
Keep going.
Say as much as you need.
We also are featuring a show on the history of Bennington, which is a non-traditional, almost alternative history of Bennington, which doesn't have a mention of Ethan Allen or much of the traditional narrative that you think of when you think of going to a history museum, but it is focused on the hidden figures of history.
Oh, neat.
So LGBT, rights movement, women in the military, and the effects of slavery within Vermont.
Interesting.
So it's a very small, very powerful pocket exhibition,
I should say.
curated by Callie Raspuzi, and really well worth the effort. A very good, nice balance to the Orton show.
That's very good. So those are exhibitions, or you got more?
We do.
Oh,
We
keep
do,
going.
but there's more.
But there's more. Yes.
And I don't know if anybody's talked about it, but we're also partnering with NBOSS for the
Okay.
North Bennington Outdoor Sculpture Show.
Excellent.
It's been a wonderful collaboration with Joe and Matthew at VAE, and there will be an artist reception at the end of the year on September 8th at 5 to 7 with the traditional fare of the NBOSS show, PBR and hot dogs. We also have music by Circe and the Stilt Walker Troy Wonderlay. Also happening at the museum later this year, our feature music program, Music at the Museum, featuring Ida Mae Spector, September 10th.
Great.
And of course, we have our Concert in the Courtyard series that happens every Friday at 5 o'clock, starting this week.
Yes.
Starting this week with the Mike McCann Band. So come down, join us for some beer, for some tacos, for some music. It's free. It's a good
awesome.
time. You do have to pay for the beer, but other than that, it's a wonderful thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, Courtyard's a great little spot to be too. I can hear it. I live down the hill and a little over. I sit in my yard and go, what's that sound? Oh yeah, it's Friday music. It comes all the way down through town. It's quite nice. So, but yeah, we also plan to be there to record those for people afterwards so that they can't make it. So that's really cool. Every Friday, weather dependent, right?
Weather dependent.
Yep. Anything? But there's more?
But there's more.
Yes.
Okay. But there's more. I know you're excited.
I know.
I know.
Good job.
Right.
He keeps
I
it.
look
keeps
very
it inside,
excited.
yeah.
I'm keeping it in right now. Yep.
And it's hard for me to stay in one place, so this is a
fine.
good exercise
Oh,
for me.
good.
We also have a spring party on June 3rd, which we are featuring the work of Bob Taggart, who is a BHS volunteer. He has been instrumental into organizing and really strengthening the Bennington Historical Society, which is a program of the museum. And we will be throwing him a little shindig. And of course, on June 7th, in partnership with the Manchester Community Library, there is a community conversation going on between all of the not-for-profits within Bennington County and our surrounding areas.
That's great. We'll be there too.
That's right. It's a not-for-profit roundtable. It is a free event. If you're in a not-for-profit, we want to see you come. We want to see you engage with your fellow workers and hopefully make some connections and inspire and delight and bring programming ideas to fruition.
Excellent idea. To have all that in one room, hopefully some excellent ideas come out of that. So, good think tank opportunity for people. Is there more?
Is there more?
I'm open to questions.
Oh, okay. So, people can become a member of the museum?
People can become a member. That's right.
And
we have varying membership levels, starting at individual members and going all the way up to our Monument Society membership, which is a $1,200 level membership. But with that, you get me taking you to various field trips throughout the region. Most recently, we went to the Martin Van Buren House over in Connecticut, New York, and partnered with the Jack Shaman Gallery to take a look at some postmodernism.
Wow. You get the executive director to come with you. Personal
That's right.
tour. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
I'll even hang out and have a couple drinks and dinner with you too.
Wow.
What a bargain.
That is a bargain. So membership for people who want to like see your whole program. Obviously, your website's the best place to see what's going on.
That's right.
Okay, that's BenningtonMuseum.org.
That is correct.
BenningtonMuseum.org, folks.
And also catch us on our Facebook and Instagram profiles.
That's right. And anything else?
There's plenty to see, there's plenty to do, so we do hope that you come and visit the museum and come join us.
Awesome. It's a great, we are really lucky to have a great little local museum like yours here in town. A lot of history, a lot of art, and a lot of events. Come out for some music. It's really cool. So,
thank you for the opportunity.
Martin,
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming, and we'll be right back. Hang tight.
Hang tight.
All right, and the train keeps it rolling.
Yes.
We're still here from Mayfest, and we've got a great guest here, Ahmad from Vermont News and Media.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome, welcome. So, let's start with what's new at Vermont News and Media. Let's start there, and then we'll break into the cool announcement we've got.
Yep. So we've been working on a few things. I mean, after all, you all know the newspaper industry is kind of struggling a little bit. So we've been coming up with new initiatives, a couple of new things. As of last year, we rebranded Upcountry Magazine to become Vermont Country Magazine with a higher focus on Vermont, things that are happening in Vermont. Before, it was a little bit more trying to cover New Hampshire, Mass, Vermont, New England, and it was a bit like too expanded. So like now with Vermont Country, we're trying to have a really good online presence on the web, on the socials. Soon we'll be launching a newsletter for Vermont Country specifically to keep people in the loop with all of the things that are happening. For the people that are not familiar, Vermont Country is a bi-monthly magazine that we put out, and it's really like our tourism guests and everyone from outside of Vermont front in a way. All of our subscribers are engaged with it. They get it by print, they get it by email, but it's also like what we put out to tell everyone from the outside about what's happening, and it's been great. It has become my passion project, mostly because I see all of the reporters from Bennington and Windham counties collaborate on fun content that is not newsy, not things that they have to newsy content versus more fun content. So that's been awesome. Other than that, we're planning a launch soon in the beginning of June, hopefully the first couple of weeks, where we're going to launch a new newsletter and web pages called Green Mountain. Green Mountain Vermont Cannabis News. So we're trying to have more of like an all state coverage. We have really, really good partnerships and relationships with a group from Brattleboro that is going around North Vermont and Windham County to make video content actually. And we have a lot to do with like the cannabis content. I mean, it's a new exciting industry that we're having in the States. A lot of people are excited about it. A lot of people are also like questioning, not necessarily questioning, but I mean, the Cannabis Control Board are a great group of people. They're doing the best they could, but they always have people that are like, why aren't we getting our permits faster? And why aren't we getting this type of demand faster? And we believe that our newsletter is going to be a really good educational and also entertaining platform for everything related to cannabis, whether it's like, intimate interviews with dispensary owners to growers talking about their techniques to, of course, like covering all of the policy and industry updates that are happening. So my focus is to make it not look like all of our other news content. Exactly. We want it to be engaging. We want to have sections where our viewers and audience have a say on what's happening. Like, did you go to a recreational dispensary since they first opened? Like, how do you feel? Are you a home grower? Were you trying cannabis as like alternative medicine, and was it successful? So we're really trying to like have this like audience engagement in Green Mountain newsletter, and hopefully it will launch in the first couple of weeks of June. You'll be seeing it on the Bennington Banner, Brattleboro Reformer, Manchester Journal, and Vermont Country publications trying to publicize this new newsletter. And we are hoping that, like as a news outlet, media organization, we are trying to become multimedia. So we are hoping that the launch of this cannabis newsletter with our partners in more like the North and Windham County side to start getting our audience used to us having video content to share with them, which would actually be a great introduction to all of our audience and mostly everyone that is engaged with us in South Vermont to start getting content from our new collaboration.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. So, I mean, it's really, really awesome that we have this platform. We have Cat TV in town. a lot of people don't really recognize the importance of media organizations up until we stop covering stuff.
Exactly.
So I mean,
you couldn't have said it any better.
Exactly. So when it comes to Vermont news and media, I mean, of course, we always have people being like, "Why aren't you covering this sports event?" And we're like, "We're really trying our best." And we are community oriented. At the same time, we are for profit, which is different from Cat TV, but it also like positions all of us as media organizations as it's like one category, which is great. People seek us for information, for knowledge about current happenings and things that are going on. But sometimes it's, our production rate. Our production rate can only go big with how big we are, and we can only get bigger with our community support in a way, which is why we, Cat TV and Vermont News and Media started off with Mike Cutler coming up with this like really, really cool idea, and which we kind of built off on because I'm really passionate about collaborations. I'm really passionate about people that are doing similar work to do it together. So especially when it comes to like Vermont News and Media being a tourism front, now it's great to have, media collaborations where we can work on things together. So we are really, really excited to launch a media collaboration between Vermont News and Media and Cat TV called Made in Vermont.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
I should say, though, that this is more of your idea, and we've kind of met in the middle with the equipment and technical abilities to make it happen. So we're glad we can do this. We're really excited. Made in Vermont. Continue.
Well, with you two at the helm, I got to stop you because you guys have been talking a lot here.
Okay.
So.
We love to talk.
With you two
and
at the helm.
we're getting the poll. So no, I'm kidding.
No, we can control that.
We can control that.
We're here till 3. With you two spearheading this, super exciting. I've sort of just asked Mike a few questions about it and didn't get into the nitty gritty too much, but from a organizational standpoint, I think this is a big step for Cat TV as well. We've always partnered with local media, and this is something new for us. This is something new for you. So I can't wait to see what this really brings to the community and further than that. I'm super excited about it, and can't wait for it.
We are. So Made in Vermont, it is a podcast. And we're on the podcast equipment right now, so we're really excited to get this out in the community. We've been developing a great list of guests that Ahmad has put together, and I'll let you speak upon how you're weaving them together in innovation and things like that. So take it over.
So, I mean, we do not necessarily want to create something that already exists in a way. I mean, the Chamber of Southwest Vermont does a lot of video content every now and then between Cat TV and the stuff that you guys produce and make. We always have content going out that is basically, I mean, for me, as an outsider, as someone that is really, really not from Vermont, I really care about the content that goes out that represents us as people that basically we're not exclusively farmers. We're not exclusively making maple. We're not
very diverse.
Exactly. The Vermont brand is huge. It's large. I mean, right now, nationally speaking, and even beyond, people know what Vermont is, the Vermont feel, the authenticity of it, and everything that comes with Vermont. And this is great. Like, this is great to have for everyone. But when it comes to me as another layer of like a new person to town, kind of younger, a person of color, it's kind of important to show that like this place is unique, because although we have traditions that are like, let's say, Mayfest happening every year, Garlic Town happening every year, but for me the thing that stands out the most is that we have these traditions that are the backbone of our community, makes volunteers and people, regardless of their background, regardless of what they're doing for work, just come out and do this thing for that one common cause. But for me, the thing that also stands out the most is that there's always innovation in it. There's always innovation in it. Garlic Town, every year it happens. It is a tradition that happens every year, but every year it happens. Something expands. The brand develops. There is the sign of innovation. Integrating text messages, integrating mapping, integrating visual communication. So all of these things are important, and this is what I love the most about being here.
you have the traditional stuff that keep the people going. They know what's going on, but you always have this like spark of creativity, spark of innovation, and that's what kind of like inspired me, really. You know, like when we have the Vermont Country Store running this like beautiful national-wide website to ship people all over the states Vermont products. It's beautiful. It is something that it is kind of important to highlight as an innovation piece, but also a community piece. And that's what I feel as like the common theme with Mayfest and Homebrew and Garlic Town. Things that happen regularly, but they're always fun because there's always a spark of creativity, new volunteers joining, new people joining the leadership teams, and you find this like cool sense of repetition, something that is regular, that is happening, you can rely on, but you can always be surprised. Yeah. So I feel like our podcast and video series is hopefully going to bring up all of these like new people to town, or people that have been here doing great quality work, but showing their uniqueness. Not necessarily we do maple and it's good, but it's also like we do maple and it's good. And right now we are going off on how much we do promotion on this side and how much we talk about it there, community collaborations. So I'm really, really excited for the roster that we have coming up.
I can't wait to see it,
of potential guests. We really want to put Bennington County in the spotlight, and South Vermont, and Vermont as like the state as a whole. But right now we have a distillery, we have a place that makes cider, we have multiple places that are brewing their own beer. We have a lot of innovation when it comes to food, collaborations. We have Couch and Cork. They started this whole like virtual wine business during the pandemic, and now people from all over the place, if they care about wine and virtual setting of learning about wine, they're also hearing about Bennington. All of the people that are hearing about our product, they're also hearing about Bennington, and that's for me like the connecting point. And once we put the faces to it, the voices to it, a nice media collaboration to make sure that it is expanded and it's reaching as many people as possible. And it will also be online, so it will live forever.
Yeah, so I love it. So is there going to be a video component to it as well? So you're going to not only obviously audio, but you're going to do video?
So it'll be a thing that will launch with the banner. We're hopefully having the week of it will be June 25th. Will be our first episode. We're going to record as many as we can during the month of June. We've got, like you said, great innovation with different people in the community, not just Bennington, but the North Shire, made in Vermont. We could hopefully expand to the state, but also we want to have profiles on people. So an example is Kevin was just here from BPAC. We want to find out more.
Absolutely.
How did Kevin come here and now he's running the local theater?
Tell the story. Build the story out a little bit.
Who is Kevin? That's the question. But we're really excited to have these different kind of avenues in the podcast and bring it on a platform of CAD TV visually and on ACAST through the podcast platform and through the banner and all of their avenues of advertising.
Absolutely. We're trying to approach this strategically in a really fun way also. So we're hoping that the frequency of this, like whether you like following podcasts, whether you like following videos, whether you like following written stuff, whether you like following social media, we're trying to do our best as two media organizations collaborating to really get the word out and get the videos out and get what people have to say, like the people that are sparing their time to share with us their story, share with us why do they like Vermont, why are they creating work in Vermont, to have their say in multiple platforms. So we're really hoping that on Sunday is going to be our day. Sunday is going to be our day for email. Where everyone that is subscribed to us is going to get it by email on Sunday. Between Monday and Tuesday in the beginning of the week, they will get it in an article form. And then for the other half of the week, between Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday, we'll be flexible. They will be getting it on social media via CAD TV and specifically Vermont Country out of our publications. So we're trying to dedicate CAD TV's podcast hosting. CAD TV's channels will have the video element, and then we will carry all of this and do its distribution on Sunday via email, beginning of the week via an article by the banner and the journal, and then the remaining of the week via social media, via Vermont Country Magazine.
Love it. Great. Covering every avenue. Yeah, this is
That's
awesome.
You summed it up so well. I love it. It's he can go and it's done.
I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but any hints to maybe who the first guest may be? You don't have to tell the world, but
We
maybe
have
some
a
hints.
few, but
So when's it going to launch again?
June 25th, which is a Sunday. That'll be
Okay.
that first week of. Okay. If you're subscribed, you'll get that whole
Gotcha.
week, and then it'll keep going from there. Do you want to share? I'll let you.
Yeah. I mean, we have a few ideas. We still want to do between our vision as media artists, people, and then what ends up happening in reality.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to overpromise.
Sure.
But I mean, there are a few themes that we would like to have from the start. Whether they are inviting a few people that have actually been in Bennington for multiple generations that can reflect on their experience.
Great.
Another take could be people that came to Bennington, lived in Bennington for a while, left and came back, so they have this unique perspective of a little break in between their stay at Bennington. Like Mike mentioned, we have a few people to profile, but we might save that for a little bit. Sure. Because we really want to show it off as it's primarily a podcast, and just like now, you can have multiple people on it. It's a conversation. It's really not us trying to cover news or Cat TV trying to cover a trustee meeting, basically. It's new content that we're putting out. It's different people, new people in the spotlight, and trying to prove, right now, what is making us unique. And what makes us unique from now might be different from what makes us unique next year.
Absolutely.
But that's absolutely what's going to make documenting all of these people and all of the happenings and the new stuff that are happening will be in a good time.
I'm excited.
I think you hit the nail on the head without saying who. That's perfect. But yeah,
almost like he's in media.
I know.
It's very interesting.
But I would say the avenues of the arts, the drink, the beverage world is huge.
And it's going to
farming,
grow organically as you guys go. You know, so
absolutely.
you have a vision, but it's going to
and as we hit locally, it's let's talk about Ben High. That's a big thing. Let's talk about phase 2 that may be happening. So those kind of other development things of the region.
The 250th
Oh, yes.
celebration
Oh, yes, of course.
is, is coming out, and that's absolutely
That's a
gonna be
great segue
big
to our
one.
next guest, but I don't want to push us out. So anything else you want to add, Ahmad? It's very exciting.
No, I'm just really, really exciting. I'm just really excited for everything that is coming up. I mean, I usually get really hyped up over the summer because I'm usually working on a lot of marketing campaigns to promote happenings like this and other events that are going on. But this year, other than promoting, I mean, as much as I love it, always promoting homebrew, promoting Garlic Town, promoting all of Mayfest, Harvest Fest, and all of the things that are happening, and sort of being on the back end marketing side. It's kind of fun that this year I'm excited over the launch of a few things that I'm actually involved in. Whether it's the cannabis newsletter, whether it's Made in Vermont, whether it's the other happenings that are going. Hopefully soon, Vermont News and Media will be on LinkedIn. Hopefully soon we'll have more newsletters curated for sports and curated for a few things. So that's been my mission, trying to get us more digital, trying to reduce our paper waste and production, trying to get people the information directly to them and not having to search for it.
True. Yeah, that's a big one.
Step by step, with more media collaborations and more fun happenings, we'll have more to cover and more to produce content on and more to feature and bring to everyone.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Great conclusion. We're excited. So go follow Vermont News and Media on the socials. Get subscribed to the new newsletter for the cannabis section, and stay tuned for Made in Vermont, June 25th. You'll be seeing some promotions before that to subscribe and make sure you're following it. So, thank you, Tony. Do you want to say anything? I feel bad.
He's just so engrossed. I took it all in.
Yes. And you think
I'm going to subscribe.
Yes.
And I'm just going to be waiting with bated breath for that first guest on June 25th.
Exactly. So, great. Thank you, Ahmad.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's very exciting, and the passion, the energy is so
absolutely.
So, we'll be right back with something about 250th.
Oh,
boom. All right. Sorry, Jonah. I said it too loud. Whoa! Hello, I hear you. We're back.
They're working.
We're working. We're here with Jonas Spivak from Town of Bennington and other hats. And we're really happy that you are here after a long, hard day work in the morning. That didn't make sense at all.
Long, hard day work in the morning. Wow, we're getting to the end of the show.
I've been talking way too long here, clearly. All hard day's work this morning. So
absolutely.
Go right there.
Part of the reason I'm dressed as I am is I literally just came back from Village Cemetery. It's one of the town's oldest historic cemeteries. We have some of our earliest citizens are buried there. We have veterans from probably every war.
That's amazing.
There, total of 2,100 souls. Got a lot of notoriety last fall because there was a terrible vandalism event. Something like 200 stones were overturned.
It's awful.
We had a tremendous volunteer
Yes, you did.
outreach. That few weeks later, we righted every stone that we could that was unbroken. But some of those broken ones needed more work. So at that time, let's do May 27th of 2023 as a follow-up date. At the time, I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, it sounded good.
I know. I'm like, that sounds perfect. And it was the one day that the Vermont Old Cemeteries Association could come. So I'm like, we'll take it.
Let's do it.
It turns out it was Mayfest and Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
So I was worried about that. I'm like, does that mean we're going to have less volunteers? We had over 24 folks show up for this event.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you to those who came out.
And those folks that came out. That's amazing. And that's Bennington.
That is totally Bennington.
Is really Bennington.
And by the way, I have to give a shout out not only to the volunteers, but also for neighboring towns, Halifax, Rutland, Clarendon. All those towns came to Bennington to help us do this work. And our own VFW post and their VFW auxiliary, amazing. They came out in force today. They also fed us. They fed our volunteers, really fabulous.
And jumping back to your event last year, the initial one, the response was incredible.
It really was.
I mean, when something happens like that, people band together and fix it, and we were glad to be able to document it, but it was a great day of seeing those people come out.
Absolutely. From tragedy to a really heartwarming and reassuring thing that people do care. And in a way, shining a light on this village cemetery is its best protection. So,
absolutely.
So it was really wonderful to see that. Got really hot and sweaty. I'm still in my official town garb for that, wearing my town hat. But it was really a lot of fun and learned a lot as well.
That's great to hear. And like you said, I don't know a lot about the cemetery, so unfortunately, this is a way to find out a lot more about it. But that really, I think, is the positive spin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now people know about it. People, I think, will be watching it a little more closely. And the folks, unfortunately, that did the destruction will probably be like, wow, we did this thing, but then the community came together and did this. So maybe that, in a really ideal world, maybe that turns their thoughts around a little bit. So.
I think you're right on, Will. By shining a spotlight on that and letting the community have their eyes on it, that is its best protection. So,
what else is going on in the town, real quickly?
Well, we're gearing up for summer. There's going to be summer camps at the Recreation Center, summer programs galore. You can find out about that by going to the Bennington Facebook page or the Bennington Recreation Center Facebook page or the Bennington town website, which is benningtonvt.org, and go to the Recreation Center, and there's links to get you to all that information.
Great. That's great.
People are starting to sign up for that now, so it's not too late to think about summer. And my goodness, it feels like summer today.
It is the unofficial kickoff, and it feels like the official kickoff. It feels like summer is here, and it always seems to just come. It's just, I know, it's spring, it's summer.
Yep, they flipped the switch.
I think that's today. So that's great, exactly. Yep, you're now in summer. So,
Congratulations.
Yep. So I also had the pleasure yesterday of hosting the county historian from Saratoga County, New York.
Oh, interesting.
And we're collaborating with Saratoga because we're already now thinking about the 250th anniversaries, which start for us. Big kickoff in 2025. And what is in 2025? Well, that's the capture of Fort Ticonderoga by our very own Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys of Bennington. We played a starring role in that story. So I'm very interested in developing these relationships with our fellow historical folks in other states, because this is an interwoven story, right? It's not just Vermont. We need New York in there. We need Saratoga County in there. We're also speaking with 250th planners in Massachusetts and Connecticut.
Oh, that's great.
So that's how far that story
the
goes.
reach is, that's tremendous.
As you said, it needs to be collaborative. We need to share all these important stories with everyone.
And I love that you guys are really getting out ahead of it and really starting a lot of this work now. And I know you've been working on it because Mike is involved as well, so I get to hear some of it from him. But yeah, we're like, oh, it's 2027, right? It's so far away. And then, it's here. So I'm glad that you guys are laying the groundwork and doing this now. So when 2027 comes, it's going to be quite the event.
And that's really our culmination, right? That's our signature year. That is the year of the Battle of Bennington and the founding of Vermont. Of course, the government of the newly founded republic was right here in Bennington. And if Bennington had fallen at the Battle of Bennington, would we even have?
Where would we be?
Exactly.
Probably, maybe not on the street right now.
You might be part of New York, actually.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
So we were literally born in the crucible of revolution, a really fun time for us. And by the way, history is with us every day. And I read this wonderful quote because I went to visit the Bennington Museum, our regional museum. An incredible museum, and we take it for granted because we live here. But if you haven't been to the museum lately, I highly recommend you go. So here's one of the things they talk about. They've got a nice little exhibit about Bennington right as you go in. It says, history does not refer merely or even principally to the past. On the contrary, the great force of history comes from the fact that we carry it within us, are unconsciously controlled by it in many ways, and history is literally present in all that we do. That's a quote by James Baldwin.
Wow.
That's very true.
I was struck by that and honestly inspired by that. So to think that history is something that happened in the past is utterly ignoring the fact that it means everything about what we say, think, or do today. And it puts a whole new twist on that idea of if you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat it. Because, right?
Very true.
That's very timely.
True. That is timely. Yes. But that was a great segue right into 250 things.
Absolutely.
Things are coming. Get excited. We've got a couple of years till 2025 where they start off. But
we do, but we start this year and we start every year because Bennington is unique in that we celebrate our Battle of Bennington, which we've been doing continuously since it happened. And I'm happy to say that I used to say that we were unique. We're the only battle that's been continuously celebrated since it happened. But then I was at a 250th conference in Virginia, and some guys
wait a second, sir.
What about the Battle of Camden in South Carolina? And I'm like, well, yes, but that happened in 1781. So that was 4 years. Still the longest. There you go.
So correct me if I'm wrong, is the 250 committee doing a podcast?
So we have started doing that. And let's be clear, we have a Bennington 250th committee, which we've started actually last summer. And we've already come out with a few of these History Minute podcasts, just a little blurb, something about Bennington. And we'll be releasing those very shortly. We've got a couple in the pipeline.
I've got a couple in the can they're called Revolutionary Minutes.
Ooh,
so
love it.
Kind of for people, think of like, was it Neil deGrasse Tyson's book of astrophysics for people in a hurry? It's kind of like that.
Perfect.
It's Revolutionary Minute. It's say a minute or two of history, and you could grab it in just that little snippet of time. They'll be on Cat TV, they'll be on the podcast platform, which we'll share, and available on the new 250 website as well. So.
And one of our goals of that is to sort of highlight little bits of history that you might not know about. And even in just a minute, you can get excited about something that really illustrates something that's unique
like you
about
said,
us.
seeing that quote. So maybe someone sees this, listens to this podcast, and they're like, wow, that's interesting. I'm going to go on my own and learn a little bit more about that. I think that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. So having said that, I'm going to share one of my favorite historical tidbits.
Go for it.
Because it's tragic, but it's also so telling, which is that a lot of people think because we are a very white community, we're a very white state, but black people, people of color, have been part of the story of Vermont and Bennington since the very beginning. And at the Battle of Bennington, the one Green Mountain boy who lost their life in the battle fighting for Vermont and our country was a person of color. That was Sip Ives. And one of our goals for the 250th is to have a memorial for Sip Ives and the Green Mountain Boys at the Bennington Battle Monument.
That's fantastic. I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
Such an important part of our story, something that people don't necessarily realize, and really important for us to illustrate.
I couldn't agree with you more. And just jumping off that real quick is the fact that I hear this a lot of times with meetings with Battle of Bennington. It was very not well documented. So you're
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like you're learning new things. Like
We are
this
absolutely,
and this and
yeah.
this. It's not like we know
We know everything
War.
about it, but
We
this is
know
the way it is, so-
we know that we
Yeah.
know everything. Don't question it.
Yeah.
No, we're constantly like Sip Ives was. To me, I never heard of it before.
Yes.
Several years ago with the big ceremony at
Absolutely.
the museum, and discovering, for me at least, the story of him, which
Exactly.
is so great. That
How can we
bringing that out.
forget that?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
so
Exactly.
interesting point. We're always learning more things, but we are fortunate that the Battle of Bennington has over 200 firsthand accounts telling us about the battle. So we have a snapshot that is almost unique in being able to interpret and understand. Not interpret. That's not the right phrase. Interpret sounds like we're telling you how something is.
Yeah.
That's not what historians mean when we say interpret. That is literally a way of us just saying that we're looking at the information and trying to understand it better. So one of the things that happened was that a German account by a surgeon who was with the British at the Battle of Bennington, his name was Julius Wasmus, he left a very detailed account. And in his account, he mentioned Sip Ives. He didn't know his name, but he mentioned this Green Mountain boy, a person of color who had been killed at the battle. And that was that initial piece of information that set our local historian, Phil Holland, on chasing that down. Yes. So again, you're right. Even though we have a lot of information, we think we know a lot, there's always more to learn, always more to discover.
ties and different paths.
And well documented isn't the right word. It is well documented from people who were there. I think it's people are like, oh, I wish we had this or that. Anyway.
Yeah, and part of it is we also make mistakes, and then we have to correct them.
Exactly.
And times change, and what people focus on changes.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's probably one of the biggest things about our hopes for the 250th, which is that, in 1776, with the Declaration of Independence, we created a country of ideals. And those ideals are still something that we're striving to realize.
Right.
And that's the most important message of the 250th, is this is the great democratic experiment that is unfinished.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's up to all of us together to complete the promise of the revolution.
I think it's a
Perfect
great
way to
end it.
yeah,
Memorial Day
couldn't say
weekend.
it any
Wonderful,
better.
and thank you for having
You're so
me. This is
welcome.
wonderful to be here.
We've got the fine ladies from the BBC coming up just next, and they will sign us off for the day. But Jonah, thank
pleasure.
you for being
Thank
here.
you, Mike.
Thank you, Jonah, for everything.
It's always
Everything you
good to
do at
see
the
you.
town and
It's a
for the
pleasure.
250 stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, folks, and we're back for our last but not least, but most important guests of the day, I think, because without them, we wouldn't be here today. So we've got Jenny Dewar, the Director of Events. I'm sorry, I almost said
I know.
Director. And we've got Jeannie Mantrone, our... I messed it up.
Jeannie Mantroni, our Director of Operations.
Thank you. I want to say...
My name is now Mike Cutler, and I am now the head of interviews for Cat TV.
Oh, God. I'm done with interviews after today. I was called Larry King by Mr. Harrington, so let's
Hey,
not go
Larry.
there. Yes. So, how has the day been?
This is the first time I sat down
Good,
since 5
good.
o'clock this morning, so we're
Glad.
staying here until 5 o'clock
Good.
tonight.
We'll keep the seats here.
No, it was a bit of chaos in the morning, as it is. And,
Always is with a big
yes.
event like this.
Yes, but it seems to be it's the biggest Mayfest we've ever
I was
had.
just gonna say, biggest
Yeah.
Mayfest,
Yeah.
and you guys paid the weather people perfectly.
I did. I really
Yes.
I bribed the weather goddess. She is a personal friend, but sometimes she doesn't cooperate with me, like all of 2022.
Oh.
So
Yes, right.
so I told her that this year she really owed me a good day, and she's like, you're right. Blessed be, you got it. Yeah.
Here we are. So I just wanted you guys to say, Mayfest is here. It's a great day, but what else is happening downtown with the BBC this summer?
Shall I take this one, or do you want to take it?
Go ahead.
We'll start it with your slogan. Start it with your slogan.
Yes.
It is not just downtown, it is our town.
And what's going to be happening in our town, also known as downtown, is so we are going to have the Thursday Night Live again, but we're only doing 7 of them.
Okay.
We are doing, Hemmings Cruisin' is doing 5, 1 a month.
Okay.
We're going to start First Fridays back up. That's going to be in July. We haven't had First Fridays here in years. We are going to close down Main Street. It's going to be more about the merchants than the vendors. And let's see, we have Harvest Fest on October 14th. We have a townwide tag sale on July 22nd. Am I missing anything? Oh, well, the pop-up shop, of course. That's every Saturday. Right now, we're still at 341 Main Street. So several of these vendors, they're kind of in the middle, and they have signage saying pop-up vendor. And so they come to the pop-up shops on Saturdays. And when that store gets a permanent tenant in it, then we'll just move to the next empty store and continue moving to empty stores, and then hopefully we have no more empty stores.
That's right. That's the plan, I suppose.
Yes. To do all these events,
Go ahead.
we need money.
Shift it over.
Yes. So I am working on sponsorships and hopefully social memberships of the BBC. Without that, we can't do anything, and with more sponsorships, we can do a lot more. So that is the plan.
Yeah. For this one, we got an unexpected sponsorship, a very nice, generous one from a mailing that Jeannie did, and we are super grateful. Can I say who?
Yeah.
You can say who it was.
Heritage Family Credit Union.
And thank you to them. We
big
were
thank
able
you.
to increase the pay for the musicians. I strongly believe that you should not give away your art, because art, it is their work, and just because you enjoy your work, sometimes not even, sometimes you have to play and you don't want to play. That's not fun. But just because they do what they're passionate about does not mean they should not be paid well. So
100%.
I strongly believe in artists getting paid. And we have to pay the police.
Right.
And they're important because our mighty Bill got someone caught from shoplifting, and he was on the wanted list.
Oh, how about that?
So
I
he's
heard
now
that.
off the streets for
the
a day.
The chief wanted to come down here, but he couldn't. He said he was dead. All right, cool. So where can people find this calendar of events? So we listed off the Hemmings Cruisins, the pop-up shops, the concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
If people want to go online, where can they find that calendar?
Should I take it?
Go ahead.
So the home page of the Better Bennington Corporation, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, there's a Google Calendar there, and that I'm yelling because I'm not used to wearing the headset.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
all right. No, you're good. I got you.
So there, the list of everything going on downtown, not just us, but the Chocolate Shop does a Friday night series, so that will be on that list. The Bloomsick walks on Saturdays are on that calendar, so that's where everything is. If you go to the event page on the website, then it's all of the BBC events. You can also find them on Facebook, and you can also find them on the New Districts app that we're using,
Yes,
which
talk
is
about that for a
yes,
minute.
it's spelled DISTRX. If you download the app, any downtown that is using the app, it will automatically pop up, and it shows you where shops are, where you can stay, all of those things. And then for the event today, you click on the event part, and it shows the map, and it shows a whole list of the vendors and where they are on the map.
Oh, that's great. That's super handy.
Yeah, it's a
That's
nice app.
Paper, you
Yeah.
have it right there. So
Yeah, and it's for all the designated downtowns, so it's a Main Street America
that's
program.
great.
Yeah.
And just launched, as you mentioned. mentioned. So hopefully
Yeah.
next year for this, it's built up. People know about it better.
Yeah.
They're able to come. Oh yeah, I can just pull up the map and see.
I hope so. That's the idea. I mean, I did see people today going, "Okay, we can go," and I said, "Are you using the app?" And they said,
It's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it was nice. I'm glad that the folks that do the districts app reached out to us.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely, I can see it, many uses for you guys moving forward. So today, Mayfest, biggest Mayfest ever, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
You expanded a bit. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we have 120 vendors. Last year we had 70, I think. And I expanded partly because the town narrowed School Street by expanding the sidewalk width. So it used to be that vendors were on both sides of the street, but if we do that now, it would cause an incredible bottleneck. I mean, even now you see that it's bottlenecking. So what I did is I put the food vendors on School Street, and then I wrapped around and put the more dessert-type vendors onto Pleasant Street. Will I do it that way again next year? I'm not sure. I'm tossing it around. But we also pushed things into the park, so I started young vendors. So this was for kids age 13 and under, and I had 8 young vendors. I had a 3-year-old. They're selling things like slime, jewelry, tie-dye, a really groovy cell phone holder made out of wood. Very clever. I mean, these kids come up with really, really clever stuff. And they don't have to pay the vendor fee the same way as other vendors. They pay me 5%. And I just walked around to all the kids to explain to them how to figure out 5% by what they've earned so far. So it's not just about giving them an opportunity to sell, but I want to teach them business.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's important. I think we miss that even in school sometimes. So
Exactly.
That's great. Anything else we want to add?
Well, I mean, Jeannie, this is an incredible new partnership. I was
Absolutely.
the executive
Yes.
director,
Yes.
and my board agreed that we should split this into 2 parts, two positions, when I went to them and said, I want to keep doing all of these events, and we need to keep getting people downtown. And in order to not completely burn out and find me lying on the ground under a table, we should separate my job into 2, and we found the brilliant Jeannie Mantroni, who is taken over stuff like fundraising and so on. So I would love for you to share a little bit.
Thank you for everything you just said. It's amazing to work with Jenny, who has so many great ideas. So I'm working on the sponsorships, like I said, and hopefully coming up with a new membership drive plan. I think the BBC is an amazing organization, and there's a lot of opportunity to do even more than we already are. One thing I wanted to mention is the kiosk at the corner does have a list of all of our events.
Oh, great. Awesome.
So when you're stopped there at the light, you can see what's going on. Also, we had other sponsors come in, not just Heritage, and I want to say thank you to all of them as well.
Especially Leaf Guard and Yankee Home.
Yeah. And they're on our sponsor boards, but you'll keep an eye out in the paper and you'll see everybody who stepped up.
Jeannie's also taken over, the BBC is also the official visitor center for downtown Bennington. And so Jeannie has taken over the volunteers who work in the visitor center, and she's already just turned it around, which is what I was hoping for. So
yeah, we have a great opportunity to catch everybody who's coming north, and we're the first visitor center they see. So it's really important to have a very welcoming and informative location for people to stop and capture them here on, in downtown.
Yeah, no, I should say it's definitely exciting to see it more bustling and having the people that help direct people where they go. So,
Right,
most definitely. And every day the 2 of us are like, one of us will say, hey, we could do, and then we're like, both, oh my God, okay. And both of us are like at it, like doing our parts of it, like,
that's the exciting part of new ideas
it's
or
amazing. It's a collaboration.
Taking an old idea and making it better. Yeah, exactly. So
definitely.
Well, you guys have been here all day, exhausted and tired.
Yes.
Anything else?
Where's the booze?
Exactly. 421 Farm Road.
Make reservations, please.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you had a basket? Were you drawing anything?
Oh,
or? Oh, there it is.
This is my basket.
Oh,
This
okay.
is one of our vendors.
I love that.
His name's Alan. He's in the B section, and these are handmade.
Those are really cool.
They're gorgeous,
Yeah.
and so he was the first. I said he knew I wanted one, so
Yes.
he said, "Come get it now."
Oh,
So
good.
going past
I
the
thought you were bringing something special to draw, so good.
Well, we are doing
we're
a
doing a
50-50.
Got it, okay.
And where most 50-50s, you have to be present to win. We're taking phone numbers, so you don't have to be. It's 12 tickets for $10 or 1 for 2, and someone will walk away with half the pot, and the other half will go to BBC.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to stop talking. I want to let you ladies sign us off from Mayfest 2023. So thank you all for tuning in. Ladies,
you.
take it away.
Say it together.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
It's not just downtown. It's our town.
Yeah.